And I'm super excited to announce Udo Urbantschitsch, who is our technology sales leader in the EMEA and go-to-market leader on stage here to tell you a little bit about that. Udo.
Thank you so much. Wow, I'm really excited. So actually, I'm happy that Hans introduced me because my name is very hard to speak. So actually, the Red Hat Summit in Boston this year was a phenomenal demonstration of new environments and new areas where we want to support our customers and partners to strive in. Actually, what we do here is we try to not only extend our portfolio all the way out to the edge, we want to continue invest in the data center space and also extend across hybrid cloud and multi-cloud services. So actually, this is what you should expect from Red Hat. We want to make sure that at the end of the day, we are your trusted partner on your journey and where you think you need your workloads deployed. We don't want to mandate that. We want to be the trusted technology partner. And I just want to talk about some highlights that resonated with me personally, where we think we can add value. And I want to start at the edge. At the edge, we announced a big collaboration with General Motors to help define what's possible in a software-defined car, the next generation of autonomous driving. And we not only do this by making sure we partner with them, we also announced some new additions to our portfolio. So first of all, we introduced RHEL 9, the next logical iteration of the trusted Linux operating system Hans was already talking about. And that helps more and more bridge the gaps between hybrid, multi-cloud, and edge. But we not only introduced an in-vehicle operating system as well, we also made sure that the whole portfolio we are driving is helping to make edge a reality, and we extended the capabilities there. So for example, we talked about zero-touch provisioning for OpenShift or for RHEL, so that you can make sure your workloads are deployed in that way you need it without manual intervention at the edge where potentially there is nobody doing it manually. But also across the whole spans, we listen to our customers and we hear application modernization is hard. It's not easy. So we also doubled down on application modernization to help getting the legacy applications to the new area of a hybrid open cloud to fully embrace and unlock the potential. And that goes, especially with Red Hat, without us saying that we want to double down on making sure it is secure, compliant, and trusted. So we also added new DevSecOps capabilities across the whole portfolio. And last but not least, a hybrid cloud story is not complete, but also making sure we have some new capabilities in the cloud space. So we offered new services that accompany the existing ones, and we announced the general availability of our Ansible automation platform on Microsoft Azure. And I'll talk about that in a second. But I just want to double down on a few things very quickly that stood out for me. So when you, for example, talk about edge, so we released basically a whole theme of product capabilities we call Red Hat Edge. And that starts with an intelligent edge infrastructure. As I said, zero-touch provisioning, more security enhancements. It goes over a common foundation from core to edge. And that is what you should see Red Hat really trying to drive one portfolio that is consistent between edge, data center, and the cloud. So for us, there should be no break in the media, and it should be a consistent platform. And all the way to extend also automation to the edge, because the more we go into the thousands of systems, 10,000s of systems, we need reliable measures to fully unlock the insights on what's really going on. So we introduce things like a service mesh visibility for Ansible, that we have a better representation of what's going on. But as I said, one of the things we constantly hear, and I believe is the most challenging one, is the part of application modernization. And Red Hat made a very big bet on that. And we introduced processes, technology, and services around that topic of application modernization. Because if you look back a little bit, whenever we started with the development of OpenShift, it always was the end idea of that, the vision was we want to define and work out an application platform. It's not about Kubernetes, it's not about containers, it's not about Docker. These are all implementation details. At the end of the day, what counts is an application platform you can use to make your applications work the way you want them to work, right? And that is really hard to do sometimes when you talk about legacy applications. So introducing the Conveyor project. Actually a set of technology, but also processes and best practices to help moving legacy applications into the new world. So we can only help with rehosting virtual machines. We also can help with rehosting applications between OpenShift clusters, or even re-platform them on top of OpenShift. We have tools that have software introspection and that can work out some potential challenges you have to solve up front. But one of the interesting things is actually the refactoring. So also helping you to slice the monolith and to really embrace the next generation and what we call microservices, and to fully use the potential. But ladies and gentlemen, all of that is irrelevant if we cannot measure it. So what we also announced there is a tooling to measure the software delivery performance. And we believe this is critical, because at the end of the day, you should not trust Red Hat, you should not trust any other vendor on a real potential you're getting. You should measure it, right? And this is where we are very proud of Pelorus, that can help you measure your real software delivery performance. So something you should really think about doing. So that is what we're doing, helping on the application modernization side. But that, when I talk about application modernization, always comes with an additional burden. And the additional burden is the reality of security. So I think we are in a very interesting time, because whenever we talk about software development, we talk about security, more than ever. And bear with me for the slide, there's just 4 things that are important. And today, there were more than 6 million new versions of open source software introduced last year, with millions of component versions available. And the sad fact is that we have hundreds of % of increased software supply chain attacks. And bear with me for a second. This is not introducing any sort of penetration attack to the infrastructure. This is introducing malicious software through the software supply chain, something that is a reality and costs sometimes millions to remediate and to get right again. So that is also something we are very serious about. So that leads me to our new security capabilities, from all the way starting the software supply chain to the edge and to the data centers and to the cloud. So for us at Red Hat, security and software supply chain does not start in the production, it starts at the beginning. This is what we call the shift left mentality. And we introduced some capabilities to help the developers to already have a head start when they develop. So we help them with tooling to understand upfront where they use potential malicious versions of components. We have introspection in the running clusters to understand, is there a behavior that shouldn't be there? And we also make sure that whatever we are doing, we can package and make fully cryptographically safe, like with things like Ansible content signing or software supply chain security patterns. A way to completely sign a full stack of software components that basically allow your software to run in your compliance terms. Or we introduce things like a SIG term, where we can potentially cryptographically sign whole components in the OpenShift lifecycle. So I hope I can show you that we are really taking the security serious. But it doesn't end on OpenShift, it starts with RHEL. We're also doubling down on cryptographic capabilities within RHEL to make sure, especially in the edge, where you have much more security vulnerability surface, that we really have there a strong and secure foundation. And I want to conclude with the third pillar, and that is basically our cloud services portfolio. So when you think about it, what is the real value of OpenShift, of an application platform, to really use it and not just to maintain it? So if you're into that business, I'm happy to report that as of today, we have all the main and major cloud providers as partners of ours, where we are a first-class citizen for a managed experience, for a full-stack managed experience and unified experience. Because working with customers and talking to them, we also learned that sometimes for developers, it's really hard to embrace multi-cloud because many patterns are different. You have to rethink, you have to rebuild. And our vision is that we can provide a platform that is consistent across every imaginable platform, being it on one of our hyperscaler partners, in your own data center, or all the way out to the edge with things like single node OpenShift or Microshift. And we believe that this is a maximization of the full value of the application platform, because with that, you don't have to worry about day two operations, lifecycle management of the clusters. You are just using the application platform and therefore unlock the full value that is available to you. And this all circles around OpenShift, because in our world, we believe that OpenShift is the central application platform that unlocks all the other potentials. And if you look at the slide, we try to enrich this ecosystem with add-on application and data services. We just announced things like the OpenShift database access, a way to automatically assign public cloud databases to your developers, making sure you have a consistent and concise experience. So all of that, again, paired with a hybrid cloud flexibility that puts you in the driver's seat where you want your applications to live and to run. And I want to conclude with the last one, which is our automation platform on Azure Marketspace. I will not go through the whole slide. I just want to give you a teaser. What we announced is we are completely managing Ansible automation platform on Azure, again, as a first-class citizen with Microsoft together, running in your own tenant and providing you all the goodness of Ansible managed. And the beauty of that is that this can be a platform that spans not only in your public cloud environment, it can also span your data center and even the edge. So what we try to do, and this is the takeaway I would like you to take here, is our vision is we want to continue to provide platforms that abstract the underlying infrastructure blueprint and put you in the driver's seat on making the decisions you have to make to really position your workload where you need to do. And this is what we will continue to do. So we will not dictate you where to go. We want to be your good company. And with that, I'm happy to have many other conversations at this event here. thank you for being here. And I guess the next speaker is just lining up, and we'll hear some things about our ecosystem. Thank you so much.